This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video I will preview the Grade 1 Cotillion Stakes at Parx on Saturday, September 20th. Right now it is Monday, September 8th, less than 2 weeks ago to the big race. And I previewed the Pennsylvania Derby on my channel yesterday, and you can watch that video now if you're interested. 18 horses were nominated to the Cotillion, and I'm going to go through each of the nominees in alphabetical order, beginning with Clicquot. And Clicquot breezed 5 furlongs in a minute, 0.80 seconds, 7th best of 40 at Churchill Downs on September 5th. She was last seen winning the Grade 3 Indiana Oaks, and the clear show finisher that day was Sturgeon Moon, and Sturgeon Moon returned to win the Audubon Oaks by 3 lengths at Ellis Park on August 10th. So Clicquot beat a quality filly last time, and she won her last 3 starts, and she's 2 for 2 at a mile and a 16th. Quality rode the sire, Tap at the Dam sire. Brendan Walsh trained this one, and she'll probably stalk the pace, working out a decent trip if she runs in this spot. The next filly is Disco Rules, and she worked 4 furlongs in 49.20 seconds, 3rd best of 10 at Keeneland on September 8th. And Disco Rules, her last start was in the local prep race for the Cotillion. That was the Catherine Sophia Stakes. She was 3rd, beaten 6 lengths in a 13-horse field. She'll have to run a bit better in here. Dry Powder is next. She traveled 4 furlongs in 47.40 seconds, 2nd best of 49 at Saratoga on September 1st. Dry Powder was in the Cotillion Stakes, and not only was she in that race, she won that race by more than 4 lengths at 7-1 odds. And then earlier this year, she was 2nd, beaten ahead in the Wilton Stakes, and she was a distant 3rd in the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks. Nice to see that win over the track. Gunrunner the sire, Broken Vow the dam sire, has good tactical speed, and she would be forwardly placed if they end up running in here. A horse that might not run in here is the next nominee, and that's Fondly, and she was last seen finishing 2nd in the Grade 3 Monmouth Oaks on July 26th. The problem with her is she's had no workouts since that July 26th race, and it's unlikely that she's going to run here because this race, as I said, is less than 2 weeks away, and she hasn't worked since mid-July. Good Cheer is the next one, and Good Cheer has a good record overall in her career, but she did lose her last 2 starts. And she breezed 5 furlongs in a minute, 0.77 seconds, 2nd best of 4 at Saratoga on August 30th. She is trained by Brad Cox. Brad Cox has 3 horses nominated to this race. Now for Good Cheer, she's 5 for 5 at a mile and a 16th. She won her first 7 career starts, including the Grade 1 Kentucky Oaks, and then after that, in the Grade 1 Acorn, she was the heavy favorite. She was 5th in a 6-horse field. That was her first career loss. Grade 1 Alabama last time. She wasn't disgraced as the beaten favorite. Nitrogen won that one, a horse that has a lot of quality for trainer Mark Casse, and Good Cheer was clearly 2nd best that day. So we'll see if they end up running in this spot. Immersive is next, and that's the next Brad Cox trainee, and she worked 5 furlongs in a minute, 0.60 seconds, 6th best of 54 at Churchill Downs. That was on September 6th, and this filly was your 2-year-old filly champion after victories in the Grade 1 Spinaway, Grade 1 Alcibiades, and Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She went 4 for 4 last year, but then she missed the Kentucky Oaks. She wasn't ready to run in that one. She returned in the Monomoy Girl Stakes. That was in June. She missed by a neck as the heavy favorite. She was clearly 2nd best. And then the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks. She was the favorite there. She was no match for Scottish Lassie, and Scottish Lassie is a nominee to this race, and she won that race by 15 lengths. Immersive was 2nd, 6 lengths in front of Dry Powder, and Dry Powder would come back and win the Catherine Sophia Stakes. So for Immersive, she's training for this race. We'll have to see if they end up going here. And she's run 3 times at a mile and a 16th with 2 wins and a runner-up finish. The next one is Indy Bay, and Indy Bay went 3 furlongs in 39.88 seconds, 7th best of 9 at Saratoga on September 6th. And for her, it's just a question of how far does she want to run, because all of her races have been sprint races. She has 2 victories at 7 furlongs and 2 stakes victories. She won the Jersey Girl Stakes earlier this year, and she won the Grade 2 Charlestown Oaks at 7 furlongs over that Bull Ring Oval last time out at 5-2 odds. So we'll see how far she wants to go for trainer Sappy Joseph Jr. Take Charge Indy is the sire. Spitestown is the dam sire. The next one is Kappa Kappa. And this one worked a half mile in 48.15 seconds, 24th best of 71 at Parx on September 6th. She's giving away a lot of experience in this event because she's only run twice, and she won her career debut at 6 furlongs at Parx by more than 9 lengths as the favorite. And last time in a 1 mile allowance race on August 19th, she was second, beaten 5 lengths in a 10-horse field. So we don't know where she fits from a class standpoint, how far she wants to run. She does have some ability. She's a daughter of Omaha Beach, and Pioneer of the Nile is the dam sire. Cara is the next one, and she's one that likes to be up on the lead. And she breezed 4 furlongs in 48.55 seconds, 38th best of 211 workouts at Belmont on September 6th. Cara is a bit of an up and down sort. You just don't know quite what you're going to get from her. In the Pocahontas Stakes last year, she won that Grade 3 event by 3/4 of a length from off the pace, but that's the only time she's really rallied from off the pace. She likes to be setting the pace, like she did in the Suncoast Stakes this year when she won that one by more than 6 lengths. And the Grade 1 Ashland, she wired the field there. The Grade 1 Acorn, she wired the field in that race. But some of her below par efforts, Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly, she was beaten 16 lengths. She was the beaten favorite in the Devona Dale Stakes, finishing second. She was ninth, beaten 13 lengths in the Kentucky Oak. She was fourth, beaten 14 lengths in the Alabama. So we'll see what we end up getting from her. Her best chance is if she can get out there and control the pace, and the track is speed favoring. We'll have to see if all of that does come into play and if she actually does run in the Cotillion Stakes. Look Forward is next, and she went 5 furlongs in 58.80 seconds, 5th best of 63 workouts at Del Mar on August 30th. For Look Forward, it looks like she's a 7 furlong specialist. She did run around 2 turns in the Grade 2 Starlet at a mile and a 16th, and she was second that day behind Tenma. Then she cut back to 7 furlongs in the Santa Ynez, and she won that race by a head. Then they stretched her back out in the Honeybee, the Ashland, and she was disappointing, finishing well up the track in both of those races. They turned her back to 7 furlongs in the 8 Bells, and she won that event. And then in a route race in the Slop in the Acorn Stakes, Cara wired the field, and Look Forward chased the pace and ended up finishing second, a neck in front of Scottish Lassie, a Next Out Stakes winner. And Scottish Lassie is a nominee to this race. And then last time they cut her back to 7 furlongs in the Grade 1 test, and she split an 8-horse field. So Look Forward for trainer Michael McCarthy. Polk de Oro is the sire. Into Mischief, the dam sire. Nice pedigree here. Margie's Intention is the third runner, the third nominee for trainer Brad Cox in this event. As I said, he has Good Cheer and Immersive, so we'll have to see which of the Brad Cox runners end up in this event. And she breezed a half mile in 47.98 seconds, second best of 81 at Saratoga on September 6th. She's a consistent performer, and for her, she did win as my top choice the Grade 2 Black Eyed Susan Stakes earlier this year as the 5-2 favorite under Flavian Pratt, and I had that exacted with Paris Lily as well. And then in the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks, she was the favorite. Fondly won that one. Margie's Intention was second. And in the Grade 1 Alabama, she was third, beaten 7 lengths last time out. And in that race, Nitrogen won it. Good Cheer was clearly second best. So Margie's Intention, fairly consistent off the pace type. Not Too Late is next, and this one had a best of 39 half-mile move in 46.02 seconds at Parx. That was on September 2nd. And now we'll look at her record, and she's run 15 times with 3 wins, a second, and 3 third-place finishes. In her last 2 stake starts, she disappointed in the Charlestown Oaks, but she was 94-1, so did she really disappoint, finishing 5th in a 10-horse field? And then in the Blue Sparkler, she was 43-1, and she was 6th in a 7-horse field. That was a turf sprint. Prior to that, she did win a stakes race at Monmouth at 6 furlongs on dirt at 8-1 odds. Uriah St. Louis is the trainer. This is a long shot barn. McKinsey is the sire for this one, and she's going to try to run a longer distance, and she'll be a big price if she does run in here. Enjoy is the next one, and this is a Calbred filly, and she won her 5th straight race when she won the Grade 3 Torrey Pine Stakes at Del Mar on August 30th. She was my top choice that day, and she won at 4-1 odds under Kent DeSormo. And it doesn't seem likely that they're going to ship across country and run and return in 3 weeks and run in this Cotillion Stakes. We'll see what they end up deciding, but she does have a lot of ability. Ourdaydreaminggirl is next, and she went a fast 5 furlongs, 59.91 seconds. That was best of 8 at Parx on September 5th. For Ourdaydreaminggirl, she's run 8 times, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third place finish. She rallied to finish second in the Catherine Sophia Stakes in her last start. Polecat is the next nominee. 4 furlong breeze in 48.35 seconds, 29th best of 71. That was on Parx. That was at Parx on September 6th. Polecat is lightly raced. 4 career starts. She won her career debut at 5.5 furlongs by more than 5 lengths. Since that race, 6th beaten 12 lengths, 5th beaten 19 lengths, and 4th beaten 18 lengths. So she hasn't found her spot against winners at this point, and I don't think this is the spot for her. Quickick is next for trainer Tom Amos. 4 furlong move in 48.80 seconds, 23rd best of 94 at Churchill Downs on September 5th. Quickick had a decent 2-year-old campaign, finishing second in the Alcibiades, third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. But then earlier this year in the Honeybee, the Fairgrounds Oaks, the Kentucky Oaks, and the Acorn, she was unplaced in all of those races. She got class relief in the listed Iowa Oaks last time. She was the favorite. She won that race by a nose, rallying from off the pace. So if she's going to get involved at all in this race, it's going to be because the pace is fast. There's a pace meltdown, and she's able to close and take advantage, but she's going to have to run faster. Quietside next. And she breezed 5 furlongs in 102.80 seconds, 40th best of 54 at Churchill Downs on September 6th. Quietside one I liked earlier this year, and she was on a nice roll, winning the Grade 3 Honeybee and the Grade 2 Fantasy. She was 6-1 in the Kentucky Oaks. She was 6th, beaten 11 lengths from post 13, and that was a wet track. She hasn't been seen since May 2nd. She is training forwardly. We'll see if they decide to go for this race. If they do, she's got some tactical speed. She could work out a decent trip. Finally, the 18th nominee for the Cotillion Stakes is Scottish Lassie, and she traveled 5 furlongs in 101.27 seconds, 5th best of 9. That was at Saratoga on September 7th. And she did win big last time, but that was not her first big victory. Her first big victory was her maiden victory in the Grade 1 Frisette, and she won that race by 9 lengths, stalking the pace. Then in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly, she ended up finishing 4th. She wasn't embarrassed that day. Quickick was 3rd. Immersive ended up winning that race and the 2-year-old title. Then Scottish Lassie had a bit of a delay in her first start this year. She came back on May 1st off of the layoff, and she finished 3rd after dueling on the lead. Dry Powder was 2nd. Her second start was in the Acorn Stakes, and in that Grade 1 in the slop, she ended up finishing an even 3rd. Not a bad effort there. Cara and Look Forward were 1-2. And then Scottish Lassie really moved forward in the Coaching Club American Oaks, that Grade 1 at 1 1/8 at Saratoga last time. 4-horse field. She was able to get out there and set the pace, and she won by 15 lengths over Immersive with Dry Powder 3rd there. So Scottish Lassie coming off of that big victory. She's a 2-time Grade 1 winner. She has early pressing speed. She's training well for this, and she's definitely pointing to this race. They've been targeting this race for a while now, since that Coaching Club American Oaks. So that is a look at the 18 horses nominated to the Cotillion Stakes and my early Cotillion top 4 contenders. And I'm going to go with Clicquot, Scottish Lassie, Immersive, and Indy Bay. Now, it's definitely early. We'll have to see, as I say, which horses Brad Cox, which horse or horses that he decides to run in this spot with Good Cheer, Immersive, Margie's Intention. I'm just going to go with Immersive right now as my 3rd choice, but maybe she doesn't go here. Maybe Good Cheer does. We'll have to see what Brad Cox decides to do. But right now, my early Cotillion top 4, Clicquot, Scottish Lassie, Immersive, and Indy Bay. And Clicquot, as I said, lightly raced, on the improve. Nice win last time. 3rd place finisher, was a next out stakes winner. So Clicquot seems to be going in the right direction for trainer Brendan Walsh. And if you're interested in my full card analysis, I'm covering full cards this fall from Santa Anita Park for their entire autumn meet from September 26th to October 26th. After that, I'm going to be doing the entire Del Mar fall meet from October 30th to November 30th, including both Breeders' Cup days on October 31st and November 1st. I do those annual 2-day Breeders' Cup full cards each year, and I've had a lot of success in the Breeders' Cup over the years. Plus, this fall, I'm going to be doing bonus Saturday full cards from Aqueduct, Churchill, Keeneland, and some other venues as well. You can go to the runawayhorse.com on my shop page for my upcoming full card schedule and to purchase my full card products, and I will include a link to my shop page in the video description below. I always email my analysis 1 or 2 days before race day, and I update tickets after scratches each race day. If you want a free pick from around the country each day, check out my Better Bets free picks page at therunawayhorse.com. You'll find that at the top of my homepage, and you'll get a free pick from around the country each day if you click on that blog. And keep checking my channel for handicapping videos, news videos, today's Racing Digest video series, and more. And like, comment, and share these videos if you like them. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And until next time, good luck at the races.